It is 10. I started prepping for this video at 9. Also, hat hair, don't care. So, trying to start off the week right. Today is Sunday, so it's time for a Stashcast. For those of you who are new here, who haven't seen any of my other videos, I'm Meridian Naware. I'm the resident witch and creatrix over to Radia's Hand and Danaus Divine, where I create myth, magic, and meaning for your everyday life through art, intuition, and energy work. And on Sundays, I like to talk about what's in my stash. And stash is just a holdover from the fiber community and just like the art community in general. And stash is usually referring to art supplies like yarn, beads, stuff like that. But stash can really apply to anything that you collect. So sometimes I do an art related one, and sometimes I do a magic or intuitive related one, which is what today's is. So without further ado, just a little quick note though, I'm going to post this video tonight. I'm going to put pictures up tomorrow. So if you see this tonight and you're like, wait, where are the pictures at? Tomorrow. I waited too long. And so, yeah. Also, pardon me, I'm taking some medicine that is making my mouth taste like metal, and it's just the weirdest feeling, and it's really distracting. So if I like start making weird faces, it's because I can't focus on not that. It's not fun. I've had this reaction before. Thankfully, it's temporary. It is a giant pain in the ass, though. Kind of like I licked a bunch of nails. So, without further ado, we're going to talk about playing cards. Okay, so, I've got a surprisingly large amount of playing cards. I knew I had playing cards. I knew I had a good amount. I didn't realize I had so many. But being that I collect them, I'm not surprised. So there's that. And part of why this is considered, I'm not considering this is something I collect. Because when I think of things that you collect, you know, they just sit there and you look at them. You don't touch them. You don't do anything with them. And these are absolutely used in divination. So they're not collectibles. Right? They come out of the box. They get handled. Most of them have been shuffled at least once. So there's that. Okay, so for the most part, people, you know, use these for playing games of chance, gambling. They can also be used in various magical practices and divination. And for me, I use them for divination. And I really like the playing cards. They are kind of a 1-2 punch. When it comes to answers, they do not mince words. They do not fuck around. You know, you can get detail from like anything, but just the flavor of the kind of readings that you get when you do when you use playing cards is a bit different than pretty much any other deck, really. So there's that. In case you're curious, I've got a playing card reading listing up on my website. I'll link to it below. And all the cards here, with the exception of I think one, I will go ahead and have links for. Most of these links are from Amazon because that's just usually the most inexpensive way to get your hands on something. There are a couple that are not from Amazon because I bought them from somewhere else or I could not find them there. So just a heads up and a forewarning. Yeah, most of these are out there though. So, if you scroll below, not tonight, but tomorrow, you'll see a picture of all the decks, just all stacked up, all nice and pretty. And then if you scroll further down, you will see all of the trump cards from all the decks. All laid out because those are usually the nicest cards. That's why I picked those. You know, the aces can sometimes be fancy, so I might actually throw those in there. I don't know. I might. gonna take some extra work because I'm gonna have to get them out of all of them, and I put all the cards away. So I might do the aces of everything, and then I'll probably do the aces and do the backs of the cards with them. I don't know, whatever. So you can get a good idea, because the pips, I think that's what they're called. Yeah, the numbered cards, they're usually boring. So, because I happen to have them, I thought I had this time, I'll go ahead and let you see some of them live on camera, but if you want to get a really nice static view of them, then make sure you scroll below. And if you're watching this on YouTube, carry your ass over to Patreon. This post is public everywhere, so you'll be able to see it. And chances are I will not be able to put all the links to these cards up on YouTube at all, because the links are from search results, so they're long as fuck. Which basically just means, you know, it's going to hit the character limit, and YouTube's going to be like, mm-mm. And usually when I'm sacrificing characters, it's links that go. So, without further ado, okay, put these right here. See, those are my favorite. I can save those for last. So, see if I can do this without making a mess. That's going to be interesting. Oh, whoa, yeah, sweet. So first up, we have the bicycles zombified playing cards. I'm a horror movie fan, so of course I have zombie cards. This back, which is pretty cool, and that's the other thing. A lot of these cards, the back is very interesting, and then the Jokers be interesting, and then some of the face cards, yeah, are interesting. Now, as far as interesting, I gotta say these are probably my least favorite ones. All of the cards for the people, you know, have little words on them, which for a reading I would find really, really distracting. Fun to play at a party, like, you know, just to play cards with, not so much for a reading, which is why I don't like use this. So I would use this on Halloween maybe. Or if they were requested, but yeah. So the King of Spades, for example, is never bring a pet. They make the creepiest zombies ever. I'm gonna disagree. I think babies and children make creepy zombies, because children. Yeah. So let's do this. Oh, next up, I'm gonna say this wrong, is the favole. This is Frenchish. So it's very kind of a dark, Renaissance-y way. And then these have got to have the worst back ever. Like, nobody cares about that. And we have our Jack of Spades. So they look very vampiric, and I'm pretty sure that they're supposed to be. There's gargoyles, and it's got a gothic feel to it. They're okay. I like them better than zombie ones. Then there's these. In the vein of the last one are the Alchemy England ones. Let's see. And not that great a back. Let's see. Some of these have extra cards too. So our Jokers and the Jack of Spades. A little more interesting here. It's alright. So there's that. These, okay, of these first four, these are my favorite. You're gonna have the damnedest time seeing them, because they're all black cards. So I can see it in the light. There's a design on the back. I don't know that you can, but so there we go. I don't know. We'll see if you can see. If I'm just like waving this at you and you can't see, I'm sorry. I can see it. It's the Jack of Hearts, actually. So the reason I like these is because they are Dia de los Muertos. They're all black. They're a really nice feel to them. They shuffle really nicely. I've used them in a reading before. Not great if you're necessarily reading for somebody else and for some reason they want to see. The cards, no, not that great. But as far as the feel of the cards and everything else, yeah, I really like this. All right, our next set. By the way, we have 3 stacks of this. Okay. Okay, so Bicycle makes a lot of these cards because Bicycle and Bumblebee, they're like the card makers. And I'm pretty sure that Bumblebee is like a subsidiary of Bicycle at this point. So these are the Stargazers. These are, like, the box is really pretty, right? These are a little lackluster. Yeah, space jokes. In that I would have liked them to have like more gilding. Like that would have made these cards. So like the box has got that shininess that glints in the light. The cards have them on it. Even if it was just on the side, that'd be great. So we got our Joker. It's lit up. This looks, I don't know, it's very, I guess, spacey. The Jack of Spades, which, but they're all that color scheme. So less interesting than I'd like them to be, but they're still pretty. They're still pretty. Then we've got the Warrior Horse by Bicycle. So apparently that was released for the Year of the Horse, 2014, I believe. And that's why. And the big deal is, right, the horse on the background. So we've got a fairly standard looking Joker. And really with these, it's the color scheme that is different. You'll notice a lot of fancy cards. The focus is on the back of the card. Sometimes the aces, because I think the Ace of Spades is usually the most fanciful of the aces. Speaking of fancy, no. More zombies. This one is zombified, also by Bicycle. So that's kind of funny. And the funny thing about this is, right, you can't tell which way's up. Now, in the case of playing cards, because they're reversible, technically speaking, there's not really a upside down, and they're not read like that. So we've got our Joker and Jack of Spades. Looks like he needs a drink of water. He's a little emaciated. So I think I like these slightly better than the other ones. They don't have the words. It's just regular. Was it Suicide Jack? What was that one? I'm trying to think of which one that is. No. Is it the Jack of Spades? I don't know. No, it's the Suicide King. That's what it was. Okay. Let's try to see if it has a fancy one in here. Yes. Okay. I think that's the King of Hearts. So. Yeah, like they're interesting. They're more interesting than the other ones. If I had to keep only one set, it would be those. Of the 2 zombie ones I have. So now we have these. Now, here's the thing about these. This is Bicycle. They're called Frost. They have a number of decks that are like this where they're like weather related, or there's one that had like natural disasters. So there was like a tidal wave, a volcano, I think a tornado, maybe a hurricane. And I don't know what those in particular look like, but I'm pretty sure I saw them on a collectible site, which is where I found these. I guarantee you, I probably bought these off Amazon. You can't get them there now. These cards run about $30. So you've got this cool little snowflake thing going on. Like the Stargazer, they're not, the color schemes aren't like, oh my gosh. It's just keeping with right, they've all got this blue tinge or snowflakes everywhere. It's just the stylization of it. So it's nothing amazing. I imagine if you're a Frozen fan though, you'd love these. And I'm pretty sure that probably were popular right around when that was released, and that's why those even exist, because hey, let's monetize, right? Everything. So now this is worth a mention. I have seen a lot of cards like this where this makes it look like it's really fancy. There's nothing fancy about this deck. It looks like your standard everyday playing cards, which is why I'm skipping it entirely. And I have, let's see, 4 decks of just regular ass playing cards. And then I have a set that are old as hell. And so like they shouldn't be handled. But I like old things, so like I think they're awesome. I wouldn't do anything with them. Okay, so I think this right here is the first set I bought that was fancy. They're the Romeo and Juliet version. I like them. I do recommend them. They're really pretty and they're really neat. And one of the cards that's extra in there goes into how they divided up the houses and who the Jack and the Queen and the King are for each of them. So, got our Joker, right? Yeah. But then, we've got our Jack. And, what is it? So it looks like the spades must be the Capulets, because I'm pretty sure that's the nurse. That is the nurse that was the companion of Juliet. Ask me how I know. It's because I played Juliet when I was in junior high. So I am aware of the nurse, and she's like basically comic relief. So these I've shared in an intuitive haul. If I can find it or remember where it is, I'll link back to it. I know that I did, and you can hear a little more about them there. I like these cards. I think they're really pretty. I don't think they're great for reading. If you're going to read them like a standard playing card, I feel like you need to treat them like their own special oracle deck, because they've got words on each side. They have very specific themes per each of these. Let's see. And they're our jokers, right? So that's the thing. And that was kind of disappointing, just because I wanted all the pretty imagery without having to treat it like it was its own deck, but you know, whatever. Now these are linked directly from the person who made them. I went on Kickstarter. One of the first Kickstarters that I funded myself were these. These are awesome. I love them. I wish I had bought 2 decks. I actually did buy 2 decks. I just gave one away. But I wish I had bought 2 for myself. Because then when I wear these to death, which is very likely to happen, or Joker. Oh, that was an extra card, sorry. Here's a Joker. There you go. I'm gonna wish I had more. So, the cool thing about this is they've got a lot going on. All of the little symbols have a fingerprint in them. There's a story about it too. You should really check it out. They've got some words on it. This is the Herald of Discovery. There's some very specific imagery that's used. It's very... So the Queen of Spades is the Queen of Desire, and the Queen of Hearts is the Queen of Love. The Mother of Time is clubs, and the Mother of Earth is diamonds. So, like, I really like these. Those are awesome cards, and it's like, it feels like it's a good feeling card. It's a little thicker, I think, than some cards are. So that's another thing if you're gonna get into reading cards, and we'll talk about that a little more in just a second. A good deck is not flimsy. You shouldn't feel like you're gonna bend or break it really, really easily. Yes, these are paper. Yes, they are typically plastic coated. Yes, they should probably be kept away from water. There are some playing cards that are waterproof. Actually, now that I think about it, I forgot one of my decks. Haha! It was right behind me. This is my traveling divination kit. By the way. What we got in here? Is that all? It is. Okay, yes. So, fun things. Okay, so this has got to be my least favorite deck. I like it so little that I kind of wish I had returned it, because the minute I opened them up, I could feel how utterly flimsy the card is. Now, okay. Right? There's not as much give in that card. even like these guys, not as much give. This is just like, I shouldn't bend it any farther, but yeah. So I feel like a lot of handling of these is not going to go over well with the cards. So basically they're thinner. I don't love that. Now I do love that they're silver, which is why I bought them. But got our Jack of Hearts. And like, they're pretty. They are, in fact. And I can deal with the back, even though it's really plain. But the quality of the cards is trash. I don't recommend. Those are the kicker one. And I don't recommend it just because they're not super heavy duty. So these, however, are my fucking favorites. So here's what happened. You could get these at Barnes & Noble. You can still get them at Barnes & Noble, by the way. Just some bullshit. They made a silver set. If I had realized there was a silver set, I would have bought it. By the time I went looking for it, it was gone. And I contacted the publisher, and they're like, yeah, we're not making any more of those, which super, super sucks. Because these are actually really decent cards. So first of all, we got the back. All that nonsense going on back there. Got our boring ass jokers. Whatever. But just the card is, I don't know, it has a better feel to it. This one definitely feels thinner than this one does. Now it's not much thinner because this, you know, there's just a fair amount of give here with ease. But I don't feel like I'm gonna break these, right? These, I feel like the same amount of cards, right? I don't know. You can feel the difference. And, you know, that's the funny thing is if you start handling cards a lot, whether you play poker a lot or whatever, you'll be able to feel the difference. Now, these are great. The other reason I like these so much, kick-ass plastic box. So, like, I don't worry about damaging them as much as I do the other boxes. Now, my final deck of cards, which I need to actually add here. I love these. You can't find them. Sorry. I've found cards like them, but I haven't found these again. And the funny thing is, I got these like during, was it October? So it was breast cancer awareness, which is why they're pink. So they're pink. They're completely see-through, right? You could play with them in the bathtub because they're 100% plastic. But here's the cool thing, right? So you can see entirely through, you can see me through this card, right? But all of the parts that identify the card are opaque, which I thought is cool as shit. And let's see. These I didn't separate. So we've got our jokers. And I really like these cards. I have loved these cards. These were my favorite cards for the longest time, I would say. I haven't used them for divination yet. The one complaint I would have is that depending on the surface, these are really slick, and these bad boys would just slide off the table. So there's that. But, you know, a lot of them are plastic coated anyway, and so a lot of cards are slick. So there's that. But because they're like actually plastic, which, you know, like plastic is in a lot of ways just horrible, but for the sake of something being durable, and you see they're pretty fucking stiff too, I think they're great. I dropped the box though. That's not great. So, but as you can see, you can see through the card applies to all of them. And all the design is contained. I love these. I love these. So these are my travel cards, which means they go around with my other travel kits. I've got a Rider weight in a tin, some Lenormand in a really hard box, and then some Kipper cards, which is the only set of Kipper cards I have, also in a really hard box. So yeah, that's my stash. That's my stash of playing cards. Like I said, these are usually for divination. I haven't used them for magic yet, but I know that you can, and that's on my list of things to do. They're really great for yes/nos, and I really like them for that reason. But yeah, I have more that I want because as an artist, I like the decoration of them and everything. So there's that. I think that's it though, right? That's it. So again, I'm gonna post this tonight. There's no pictures in the Patreon post. I'm gonna update it, and when I update it, it's gonna send out a, hey, by the way, this post was updated. So if you're watching this on YouTube and then you decide to go check it out, you can't see it. It's because they're not up yet. So, yeah. My question for you today is, do you have any playing cards in your stash? Do you collect them like I do? What do you do with them? Do you like to play cards? Do you use them for divination? Do you use them for magic? Or is it just something cool to have? You know, I'd love to hear from you. You can swing on down into the comments below. Let me know. I want to say a big thank you to all my patrons, to all my YouTube subscribers. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. I hope that you can look forward to some new and interesting adventures that we'll be having going forward. And yeah, that's pretty much most of it. Yeah. Anyway, this video is much longer. It's supposed to be about like 10 minutes. That's because I have a lot of playing cards. And usually when I do stashes, I'm not really good at having this stuff out. I forget, and then I'm like, oh shit. And then I won't go and get it after that. So there's that. But yeah, that's it. So tomorrow is Monday. Let's see. Yeah, this is the reward for staying to the end of the video, is you get to find out what tomorrow is gonna be. It's your reward. Good job. Oh, let's see. It's probably something not terribly exciting. Yeah. It's just your typical work in Monday motivation. Wow. So, yeah. That's it. So we're going to talk about motivation. I think I'm going to have some things motivating me. I've had some good talks today, and I think I can carry some of that over till tomorrow. Yes. So, until then, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being a part of my channel and whatever. This is one of the few things that I put up on Danaus Divine's channel. Most of everything else is on a radius hand, and I will link to that below as well. Don't forget that you can find pretty much all of these decks linked below. Like the only one that you can't find, I think, you know what, is, no, I don't think any, okay, no, I don't think there's anything you can't find. Oh, except for these. Can't find those. You can find something like them. And I'll link to those, I guess. But you can't find those specifically. So I feel like there was another one that there was a, let's see. I feel like there was one that I erased. What was it? Zombified, Frost, Reactor. Yeah, I have no idea. Not the slightest clue. But whatever. I will say the archetypal playing cards by the Cartomancer, those are actually sold out. But I did link directly to the thing. I don't know if the illustrator is going to do another run or what. I highly suggest you contact them and ask them about it yourself. Yeah, it's not, can't help you there. I have no idea. Alright, I better get off before we make 30 minutes. We don't want to make 30 minutes on this video. Alright, toodles, peace, and hair grease. See you tomorrow.